Greetings everybody, welcome back to my channel. Got another video today having to do with family court. If you're dealing with family court, I feel bad for you, son. Uh, uh, Going to try again to not bag too much on lawyers, family lawyers. Family court system, where I'm coming from is that the family court system is seriously dysfunctional, seriously not good for kids, not good for families. And I really believe that it's in dire need of some reform. Family court system is in dire need of reform. But it's going to take a lot to get there. Frankly, this is a system that's ran by attorneys and lawyers. And that's just a problem, especially when it comes to kids and family science. And I talk a lot about that in my videos. A lot of my experience as a therapist has to do with families. I do a lot of family work. Do a lot of parenting. I do a lot of work with teenagers. A large number of kids that I work with come from divorced parents, homes with divorce in it. And so I've worked a lot in family court situations. I've done child custody evaluations. I've done mental health evaluations for the court, stuff like that. And for some reason, I really seem to have found my local area, for reasons I don't understand, almost seem to be ground zero for personality disorders. And people around here have kids. They breed like rabbits. And so there are a lot of people that have kids that also have personality disorder. And you combine personality disorders and family court, and what you've got in return is a nightmare. So I've ended up kind of specializing in some of that. But today we're going to talk about child support. And really what this has to do with, I believe, is needed is higher parent accountability when it comes to things like child support. And family court, if you ask me, is in dire need of some reform. I mean, dire need of reform. We need to make some changes. Family court is a mess. It's terrible. And this is one of my areas where I feel like is really needed, is that there needs to be a higher level of parent accountability. Now, it is true, in my experience, I've seen it time and again. My local area is one of those places where dads tend to get the short end of the stick when it comes to family court. Family court is highly biased for moms, towards moms. I have seen a lot of dads that are seemingly getting punished or penalized in family court for no apparent reason. Or things are weaponized against them that shouldn't be weaponized. Oh, he lost his temper at the kids. Yeah, so does every parent. That's not a reason to restrict someone's parental rights. Every parent gets mad at the kids. Every parent loses their temper. It's part of life. It's part of being a parent. But I've seen dads, they lose their parenting time. They lose some of their custodial rights. Their parenting time is restricted, severely restricted. And it's not, it doesn't seem to be sometimes for good reason. It's just arbitrarily, for no reason. Just dads are kind of punished. And yeah, the family court system is really broken. But in my local area too, dads are really passive. They're super duper passive. They just haven't really learned to assert themselves and take really good stances on things. But when it comes to child support, I really believe that there needs to be a higher level of parent accountability. I have seen this multiple times where the money for child support is not used for its intended purpose, which is obviously to support the children. You need to feed them, clothe them, pay for school supplies, pay for the things that they need, give just a living, just so that kids can get their needs met. And what I've often seen is that the recipients of child support are using that money for other things, and the kids are going without the things that they need. I had one client that comes to mind specifically. He was paying quite a bit of money in monthly child support. He had two kids. He was paying quite a bit to his ex-wife in child support. And according to him, he told me that his kids would come over and shoes are too small for their feet. Pants are clearly too small. Kids are barely fitting in their clothes. The shoes are falling apart. The kids obviously need new shoes. Contacts his ex-wife. I'm paying all this money for child support. Can you please get the kids some new clothes? She comes back because she seemed to be a high conflict type. That's my code word for potentially personality disorder. She came back and said, how I spend money is none of your business. Stay out of my business. Stay out of my affairs. And as a side note, and this is not what this video is about, as a side note, when it comes to your kids, it is your business. And I always tell my clients, feel free to respond that way. And like, for the most part, your finances are not my business. You're right. But when it comes to my kids, yes, it is my business. So he had to take his kids out and buy them new clothes. He bought them new shoes and he bought them new pants. And he was frustrated about it. And he was really frustrated about it. But he said, I got to bite the bullet. These are my kids. I'm struggling with money, but my kids need clothes. And honestly, I feel like family court needs to be holding parents accountable for that and what they do with that money. And I don't say that, I don't say things like that without a lot of hesitation. I don't like government oversight. The government is terrible at overseeing things. Government bureaucracies are a huge failure to the public for the most part. Just frankly too many of them. But there's already some infrastructure in place. For example, ORS, Office of Recovery Services. I don't know if that's a national thing or if that's a state thing. They have it here. Maybe leave a comment below if you have ORS in your local area. But these people are responsible for basically collecting child support payments and enforcing this. And here's my argument, right? Is if dads don't pay child support, they can go to jail. They can be put behind bars and spend a month in jail for that. And yet there's absolutely no repercussions for parents that misuse child support money. There's absolutely no accountability that way. And if you already have ORS, if you already have judges, if you already have people in place who are kind of overseeing this process, I think we need to enforce it so that there's some accountability in how that money is spent. And if it's misappropriated, then there needs to be a consequence for that. I think, honestly, if dads can go to jail for not paying child support, then moms should be able to go to jail for misusing that money. But if I'm really honest, I don't think we should be sending parents to jail for that type of thing. I think it's a civil matter, not a criminal one. And I get that this is how lawyers solve problems, by punishing people. They're just punitive. At least, to the full extent of the law. I think there are other options. For example, if someone is found to be misusing child support money, then they lose it. And child support payments go away. Just one of my thoughts. And I'm the type of therapist, I do not believe that we should sit around and gripe and complain. I like to call for action. I think we need to do something. And I know there are a lot of people out there that will agree with this. There needs to be accountability when it comes to how child support money is used. So get on the internet, figure out who your local representative is, right? If you voted, who did you vote for? Who got voted in? They represent you. We live in a system where they represent you. Write them a letter. Tell them that this is an issue that is important to you. Find other people that support it. Send letters to their representative. Get some local movement going in your own home state. Get some signatures. If you get enough manpower or people power behind it, then you can make a change. And it's a lot of people, when I bring this stuff up, they kind of say, you know what, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to come from it. And of course it's not if we just give up, right? And it has to start somewhere. These conversations have to start somewhere. So if you know what I'm saying, take action. So that's going to do it for this particular one. I got to get going. I got to get to my office. I got some clients to see tonight. So make sure that you like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. We will see you next time.